Hi everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Lightbody and welcome to this edition of Wheels Afield. Well, say the word Suzuki and I'll bet you about 90% of the people out there will say, whoa, wait a minute. Motorcycles, obviously long-standing reputation for motorcycles. High quality, good dirt bikes. I had one as a kid growing up. But actuality, if you want to know something, you could probably win $1 at a bar bet, because in 1909 when Suzuki first got started, do you know what they made? Looms. L-O-O-M-S, looms. Then they got into motorcycles, and now they're into vehicles. And really, as much as anything, Suzuki is one of those car makers that's really not, well, on the radar of a lot of car enthusiasts. But let me tell you, they produce quality products at really great prices. And this is where the Grand Vitara for 2010, the vehicle that's behind me, really is shining. It is an affordable off-road vehicle. Now, standard for the 2010 for the Grand Vitara, and there's several different models available, is a 2.4 liter engine. Basically, it's a four-banger, and it puts out about 166 horsepower. Well, on the upscale, or on this version, which they call the luxury, it comes with a 3.2 liter V6 engine that kicks out 230 horsepower. It's mated to an automatic transmission that's electronically controlled. Now, getting under the hood here, you can see there's not a lot of space left in the engine compartment. That V6 takes up a lot of room. But let me tell you about the engine itself. It's very peppy, it's very responsive, and it's got good acceleration. Our 0 to 60 was just about 8 seconds, so no, it's not going to be a race car track zoomer. But by the same token, when you need that extra power, either in the highway, city driving, or when you're going off-road, you know you've got it. On the downside on the vehicle, as we walk around over here to the driver's doors, gas mileage is nothing to write home about. It's rated at 18 in the city, 24 on the highway. Our best combined, and most of it was highway driving when we were trying to measure, we only got 21.8 miles per gallon. So that's actually pretty low for a vehicle of this size and in this particular class. The vehicle itself has got about a 103-inch wheelbase. It's got an overall length of about 177 inches, but one thing I do like about it, it's got a wide track. In plainer words, it's not a skinny vehicle. It gives you a good, stable, wide platform. And that is obviously something that if you're going to be going off-road, which this vehicle is actually designed for, guess what? You're going to appreciate that. Styling on the vehicle, as you can see from the lines, it's not a macho vehicle. You know, it's much more of what we would call refined. So it looks good without being extremely garish. It's got a short overhang on the front, which as you come across the hood, means that basically you've got good forward visibility. Let's get inside the vehicle. It's a four-door vehicle. The doors are nice and wide. It's got what they call high point seating, which means that when you climb into the vehicle, you're sitting in it, you're actually elevated up enough that you've got good visibility out over the front of the hood. Unlike some of the vehicles out there where you feel that you've got a lot of blind spots, this high point seating allows you to look down and over. Headroom, passenger and driver, is extremely good. There's good front leg room. I like the fact that it comes also with an optional set of the leather seats. Kind of gives it a rich feel. Up front also, you're going to find that it also comes with the Garmin navigation system, which is great for a lot of the driving, and really nowadays is almost something that I consider to be something that should be pretty standard with almost all vehicles. Instrument clusters, great to see. Well lit, easy steering controls on everything. In fact, even including the steering wheel, where you're going to find that you can control the radio, and you've also got cruise control up front. Keep in mind that as we found out when we got in here to test, unlike a lot of the other SUVs, the small SUVs, which are front-wheel drive, this one with its four-wheel drive system is actually rear-wheel drive. So the only time that you're going to cut into the four-wheel drive system and actually engage it is going to be when the front-wheel drive kicks in. And again, it's got a dashboard mounted control that again I think is kind of unique, and I liked it. Number one, when you're driving in normal conditions, rear-wheel drive, but there is a sensor that will pick up if indeed your back end begins to slip. It'll start to kick it in automatically. You can actually then even lock it into four-wheel drive high, or you can lock it into four-wheel drive low if you're going to do some serious off-roading. And the neat thing is, for those of you that may want to take this vehicle and tow it behind a trailer or an RV of some sort, you can click it into neutral, and it allows for flat towing without doing any damage to the engine, the transmission, the transfer case, etc. Okay, moving it back here into the back. Now, as you're going to see as I open these doors, this has a modest amount of ground clearance. It's only about 7.9 inches, which means it's not really going to be a giant rock crawler. This is not a big Jeep or a Land Cruiser or something like that. But the four-wheel drive system itself is exceptional. It's very responsive, it's very agile. Match it up with a good set of tires, which it comes with on this one. It's a Dunlop, what they call a good traction, relatively quiet on the road, decent in the mud, the snow, and in kind of those yicky conditions where you're going to be traveling. Into the back here, it is designed to be able to sit three in the back. But as you can see right now, I've got some of the seats up. It's what they call a 60-40 split. In plain words, 40% of the seats can go up, 60% on the other side go up, or you can kick them all up into 100%. Well, here's where there are a couple of the shortcomings. As I said, the seats are up right now, but you can see that they're mated up against the back of either the driver or the passenger's back of their seat. So even if I put them down, okay, I've now got longer cargo area, but by the same token, I don't have a flat surface. If indeed they're kicked up, guess what? It's really cut off about 2 feet of what I consider to be some of the usable space. The seats themselves in the back are good. You can lay them down and you don't have to put down the headrest like you do on a lot of them. Let's move around to the back end. First off, as you're going to notice, this has a swing open door, which is good for people that are a little bit on the short side. Okay, rather than trying to lift it, try to swing something way up and high, you got this and you can just pop it open and swing it open like this. Now on the downside, of course, if you're backed up close to something or somebody parks in behind you relatively close, this thing swings wide. So keep that in mind. The other thing, now going back to those back seats that we were talking about, there's no way from inside the vehicle up in front to really realistically and easily access to flip those seats down. You've got a little tab here in the back that makes it relatively uncomfortable. Or you're going to have to open the back end and then be able to lay the seats down. Now when all of the seats are in use and you've got 5 passengers, you've got about 24.4 cubic feet of storage space. When everything is laid down, that grows to over 67 cubic feet of storage space, which is a good thing. Again though, it's not a monster. One of Andy's always pet peeves, where's my roof rack? Well, this has got the brackets for one, but it doesn't come with one. So that'll probably be an aftermarket accessory that you're going to want to be able to add to it. Okay, obviously all things said and done. Look where the spare tire is. How retro is that? Exterior, but smart move, because again, you don't want to eat up a lot of cargo space. And if you look down under the floorboard in the cargo area, you're going to find it's got a little hatch area. I'm telling you, there's not much room for anything down there. It's more of a decoration to me, or maybe someplace where you're going to keep maps or a first aid kit, not much else, because it's not real big. Again, the strong point for the Suzuki, for the Grand Vitara for 2010, is that it is indeed a four-wheel drive vehicle. It does handle real well in the dirt. And the better thing all, it's under $30,000. So if you're looking for a vehicle that is going to get you there, get you back, you know, is not going to be a heavy-duty rock crawler, but does have indeed real good four-wheel drive capabilities, take a look at the Suzuki for 2010. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Andy Lightbody on this edition of Wheels Afield.